What's up, Mike?
Hello, Justin. Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing today? See some very familiar faces again in the chat. Hello, John. Hello, Don.
Hey, John. Hey, Don.
Hello, Ed. Hello, Artemis.
How's it going, guys?
Paranormal. Jasmine, hello. Good to see you again, too. Thank you guys for popping in and hanging out with us, but we just have a little chat today. We wanted to kind of take an opportunity and go over the weekend, the festival, do a little recap on that, talk about, basically just talk about the weekend and say thanks again to all you guys. Hello, Roscoe, how you doing? Portia Ray, hope I said that right. Camilla, good to see you. We had a good time this weekend, huh?
What's up, Tony? Hey, Camilla. Yeah, we had a good time. So if you're just popping in, we had Sin City Horror Fest happen this weekend at Las Vegas Horror Film Festival that's put on by a couple cool guys. We actually been running it for 4 years now, and this is our fourth year. We had a pandemic-friendly film festival. So thank you so much for everyone who came out. I thought it was a pretty big success. And I think for being online and most of the filmmakers really loved it, and I think the audience loved it too. So, thank you so much. And Sin City Horror Fest, we had the awards on Sunday. Awards were pretty good.
Yep. So. Awards was a lot of fun. Filmmakers seemed to have a really good time with everybody this weekend. And hey, Tony, how you doing, man? Good to see you guys in there. The filmmakers were really overly pleased with the turnout and all you guys that watched and interacted. It was a lot of fun. It was a blast, John. We really had a good time. We got to figure out another event to do. At least in November, we got to do some other big type of event that kind of matches the intensity of that one, I think.
Yeah, so definitely reach out and kind of let us know if there's anything on your mind. But yeah, we want to do more film festivals, kind of live interactive screenings. The Terror Tuesdays have always been great, and I think kind of helped give us some insight ahead of time on Sin City as far as how the audience is going to react to the movies. So it's such a cool thing. It's like normally, you don't ever do this in the theater. You don't ever, everyone's shh, be quiet. But this is cool. Seeing like the chat. It's funny. I think we had during some of the screenings this weekend for Sin City, there was a lot of times there was 200 people in there, but 30 or 40 people chatting, and I think it slowly started getting bigger towards the end of the weekend. I think that some of the filmmakers started kind of realizing that hey, I can kind of pop in here, kind of see how the film's doing, see an instantaneous reaction,
Yeah.
And which is something that you don't get in the theater. So
no, yeah, for sure. I do want to point out real quick that I have noticed, because I'm watching along with the chat, but I noticed that Justin has a far more cinematic look on his camera than I have. I have a little bit of a, overlit, not quite as cinematic as I'd like it to be, Justin. So moving forward, I'm going to need you to take care of that for me. Or at least we could switch cameras.
We could do that. But he has you got the whole wall. You got the whole wall.
I got a better background. You're right.
Got Friday the 13th back there. You got the nice
Yeah.
It's kind of tight. It's kind of tight on this
very good coloring
on this mug here. Let's just real fast before we get too much. There's a lot of people saying hi. I just want to say hi to Midnight Paranormal, Roscoe, Camilla, Jasmine, a lot of the regulars from the festival and Terror Tuesdays.
Roscoe said KOH rocks. You rock, Roscoe. Thank you so much. And you guys do rock. I love watching you guys all say hello to each other and interact with each other. We're like just one big happy family. Tony says, Justin, your mic is peaking a wee bit.
We're peaking a wee bit. All right, we can kick that down a little bit.
Too much. I think I made him laugh and got him, a little nervous when I talked about. Look at his. It just looks amazing. His camera. I need to buy one of those for me.
Test, Tony. How we sounding now, Tony? Let me know. So this is let us know if we're too loud, too soft, too boring, or too crazy. So.
So one of the, obviously we went over a little bit of an overview of Sin City Horror Fest and what we did this weekend. But one of the other things we wanted to talk about was just kind of what's going on Kings of Horror this week. And we have a couple of exciting things. Tonight we have our Terror Tuesdays is back, and we have a really fun film called Be My Cat, filmed for Anne. It's crazy. It's an awesome film. It's really cool. I don't know if some of you guys have seen it yet, but if you haven't, stick around. Hey, Sean, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Susie, hello. How are you? Thank you. I love my collection, and I have a problem, so I probably should go to get some help. But I appreciate the appreciation of it. Justin, do we have the trailer for Be My Cat? Can we play that for the audience who hasn't seen that?
So let me find it here. Let's get it going on here.
He's going to get that trailer ready, and we'll take a look at that and then kind of talk about that a little bit. But this film that he's about to play a trailer for is what is playing tonight on Terror Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Most of you guys I see in here have been here for Terror Tuesdays. For those of you who have not, it's going to have the live chat throughout. The filmmaker will be joining us tonight. Also,
hello, Anne. My name is Adrian. I'm from Romania, and I want to make a movie with you. I saw you in Dark Knight Rises, and you're my actress. This is a film I'm making right now to convince you to come here and make that movie with me. I even convinced 3 Romanian actresses to play in this film to show you how I'm gonna work with you on Be My Cat. The actress needs to be skinny.
And I'm not skinny enough for you.
No.
Don't touch me!
They don't know. I lied to them. Don't like boys and dogs. They are all bullies. I will put this material now on her face, and you will see what will happen.
I called the police.
They think that I'm making a real movie for cinema, you know? Action! What should I do with you now? I will change the world with you, Anne. Don't make me cut you.
You're a psychopath.
You have 20 seconds to give me one last word, and then I will close the camera. This is a great...
That looks good.
So that was the trailer for Be My Cat, a film for Anne. We pulled that straight from the channel. That's why we had some end cards on there. But yeah, that's a fun movie. For any of you, has anyone in the chat seen that movie yet? If you have, let us know. If not, that's even better because we'll all watch it together tonight. It's basically...
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be on tonight. Yeah,
Justin will be in the chat tonight. I'm going to try and pop in. I have some things I got to get done, but I will be on. I will be on a little bit.
You know what's funny? That film, I thought it was at first I was like, that's it. It's, you can't tell. Like, you can't really tell if there's a little bit of seriousness, a little bit of joking. It's like, it starts, even the trailer just starts off completely different.
Yeah. It starts off like kind of innocent and like there's a little fun involved, but you can tell from the trailer it gets pretty dark pretty quick. The guy who is the star of that film is actually the director as well, and I believe the writer. He does just an excellent job in it. It's a lot of fun. Sean Bailey gives the trailer a 4 out of 5 Twizzler ratings. I think that's a solid rating. That's pretty good. So yeah, hopefully I'll see you tonight, Sean, and the rest of you guys in there while we're watching. We also want to chat real quick about the Kings of Horror Film Club. I think most of you guys have joined. I'm going to drop the link in here right now for anyone who hasn't. If you guys want, join the film club. We're doing a little bit of an online Kings of Horror Halloween costume party. I know it's last minute, and not everybody has a ton of time to put a costume together. But we would love to see everyone in their costume for this Halloween. So if you do, share your photo in there, drop it in the description or into that chat on there in the group, and we'll give away 5 T-shirts to just randomly to everybody. It's not a competition. It's just a Halloween party.
Someone's cats have Stockholm syndrome. Susan, 4 out of 5 Twizzler rating. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
So did you,
Jasmine? I did see you in the film club, and I saw your post. Thank you so much. John and Sean, you guys are in there. You guys are pretty active. I really appreciate that. Love seeing you guys talk about everything in there. Thanks. I'm glad you like the desk. Yes, it's a little old. I think I need to remodel or recover it a little bit. Maybe I'll recover it with some of these Sin City Horror Fest stickers that we have. I have these as well. Yeah, Christine, hi. Good to see you in there too. Yeah,
love the curves on the desk there.
What's that?
Love the curves.
Yeah, I'm all about my curves. I appreciate that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I've had a few too many Twizzlers too, Sean. So I'm getting curvier. Yeah, for those of you who haven't joined the Facebook group, please do. It's just a fun place for all of us to kind of chat and talk about horror movies and why we love horror movies, and not just, I know it's called the Film Club, but just anything horror, like your horror collectibles, your anything that you love and want to share and talk about. It's just a fun place to have a conversation.
Mike, you don't have anything horror. You don't have any collectibles or
I don't have any
toys or anything.
No, I need to bulk up my collectibles. I have a lot of stuff. No problem. So that's tonight on Terror Tuesdays. Be My Cat Film for Anne. I think you guys are gonna dig it. But also this week on Thursday night, or Thursday at 4:00, we have another special event or a special film, and that's called Noise in the Middle. And what's really cool about Noise in the Middle is our company that we work with, Terror Films, a bunch of great guys. Joe over there has been giving us a lot of great films for us to share with you guys. And this one, Noise in the Middle, is a world exclusive. So it'll show first on Kings of Horror before it shows anywhere else. It'll be available exclusively on Kings of Horror for 6 weeks. Can't watch it anywhere else. You can watch it here for free, which is the kicker. And it's a really cool film. We have a trailer for that we'll show in just a moment. Some of you guys may have already seen it. It's been on the channel for a little bit. But also previous to that, at about 3:30 on Thursday, we'll be doing a live Zoom call with the filmmaker and some of the cast members to just kind of share their experience on it before we all hop in the chat and watch it together. So it should be a lot of fun. So join us for that too.
Yeah, and that graphic that was just up, it is Thursday, just a reminder for everybody. So it is not today.
Did I say Thursday?
No, I just confirmed. Just in case they popped in.
Yes, that one is Thursday. Do we have, the whole movie? You saw a trailer, Jasmine? Yeah, it's a good one. It's really cool, and it's we're honored to get some of these brand new exclusive films. Terror Films has been really good to us, and then we are able to share those with you guys, and it's been a lot of fun. So yeah, this Mr. James, the whole movie for free. And what is cool is after the 6-week window, it goes to then it goes to traditional video on demand. So if you miss it, you can still purchase it, and rent it on all the major platforms. Do we have that trailer to queue up? Or is that one not loaded up?
No, we're loaded up. We're
ready to go.
I'm good.
You are good.
Yeah, well, let's see here.
Autism's a communication disorder. When you communicate, you have a sender and a receiver.
There will be a low clicking sound.
Everything in between is lost.
This must seem like a dream at times, eh? Raising a girl without her mother can be incredibly hard.
I know. I miss her too. Shh. This machine helps us sort out all the noise in the middle so we can hear Emmy. Have you tried the app with her yet?
Bad.
She only likes her pictures.
Let her take as many pictures as she can.
Bad.
She's always trying to say something.
Did you do this? Did you kill the cat? What are you looking at? How do you know if someone from the other side is trying to talk to you. She's an indigo, which means she's a conduit for spirits.
Emmy?
I think that you're sitting on a ton of paranormal energy.
Emmy?
Emmy.
And we're back. That should be fun.
Yeah, it's a good movie. It's pretty intense, and it's very well made. So it's really cool. But yeah, I look forward to coming out and hanging out with this on Thursday. For those of you guys that are going to be around, join us a half hour early for the live chat and the live Zoom call with the cast and filmmaker. It'll be a lot of fun. So I asked a question while I was playing. It was like, what were some of your guys' films that played from the festival over the weekend? Artemis says Marlena. That was a really cool feature. Super creepy.
Yeah, Marlena was good.
Yeah.
That was really good.
She was excellent in that. The actress that played Marlena was awesome. The actor that played the creepy neighbor was terrifying. So he was great. What else do we got here? Jasmine. Yes, it is difficult to choose because I also love them all. But Dawn, Shiny. Man, if I have to pick, like, definitely a standout and a favorite, Shiny's up there for me, too. So much fun.
Very unexpected. I remember watching that when we got that submitted, and I remember telling the guys, like, yeah, definitely watch that film. It was definitely, yeah, if you get a chance to watch it, it was pretty good.
Midnight Paranormalist says he gets out a 5 out of 5 Phantoms. I like that rating system, too. I think it's well deserving with a 5 out of 5. So, what else do we got? We got anything else we want to chat about today before we let all these fine folks go?
I want to hang out for a second.
All right, let's hang out for a second.
Yeah, we're not too big a rush here to get out.
No, definitely not. You just want to keep putting a camera on you and showing off your camera and coloring.
Well, as long as we do this,
yeah,
all the other work can kind of.
Yeah, we're gonna take a little break when we go live, which is fun. We will be doing a lot more of this live stuff. We want to do it at least once a week. Have an opportunity to chat with you guys. So, I think Tuesdays is a good day. Be a good way to kind of introduce the Terror Tuesdays film, talk about them before we get started.
Yeah, we'll pop in every once in a while, but I think if we can, maybe Tuesdays. Yeah, I think Tuesdays will be it. We'll try every Tuesday to come back on and see you guys, and hopefully more throughout the week.
Yeah.
So.
Jasmine says he loved the animated film too. That one, Malachite. Yeah, that film was incredible. That movie was. I have so many questions about that thing. We ended up looking into it afterwards and saw that it looks like stop motion animation, but it was made
3D.
It was 3D animated. But
yeah, they made it look like it was stop motion or claymation. Yes. And it's funny is that this year we had just one animation in, right? And then normally I think a lot of times we'll get
we get a handful,
4 or 5. But all the animations that have been submitted have been wonderful, and that's like such a cool thing that we get the whole spectrum of horror films.
Yeah.
So we hope you guys were happy with the selection we did. We definitely we pride ourselves in all the different types. So
I see Christopher Stiles is on here. Christopher is a good friend of mine and also a really talented filmmaker. He had a film play in the festival this year called Tunnels. Which was really cool. I enjoyed that film a lot. Chris, good to see you. Chris also, me and Chris worked on my first film together, and that's when I met him. A movie that was on Kings of Horror. It was called Beast, A Monster Among Men. Chris was there for that whole time and worked on my last movie. But yeah, great dude, Chris. Good to see you, man.
The tunnels in Vegas are classic, and if you don't know about the underground world of Las Vegas, is the actual underground. It's pretty gnarly. Crazy miles, a spiderweb of tunnels under the city. There's been some books, and I've had a few other friends make some films on it too. So yeah, if you're in Vegas and you want to do the dark side of the town,
Justin, don't encourage anyone to go into the tunnels in Las Vegas. Okay. Don't listen to Justin. If you come out to Vegas or if you live in Vegas, stay away from the tunnels, okay? I don't know what he's talking about. They are terrifying. There's some interesting people down there, and things, but don't ever go to the tunnels. Justin, tell them you're
I'll retract that statement. Don't go to the tunnels.
Yeah, the tunnels are terrifying, but they are amazing. And Chris, your film tunnels, I feel like it, you know, obviously it was left open at the end. Like there's more to that. Are you guys planning on doing a feature or any more short films or anything to kind of follow up to that film? I'd like to hear more about it if you are, and I hope to see it. Jasmine says she's super happy with the selections. They were amazing. Yeah, thank you, Jasmine. We were overwhelmed. I think we mentioned it in one of the pre-shows that we did in the kickoffs or the awards show. Sorry, Chris, I was reading your comment. But yeah, normally we get about 40 to 50 that we screen at the festival, and this year we screened 98 short films, and we weren't able to screen some other amazing short films, so it was like we were overwhelmed.
Yeah, it was a lot this year, man. Like we had a lot of films, and I think since we had it online, the whole thing was we were basically like, well, since we don't have to pay for a theater, so let's have more movies in there. Like let's try to crank a little bit more short blocks in there. Normally it's 5 or 6 short blocks. I don't think never more than 6. I don't think we crammed in 11 short blocks this year, and 8 feature films. And I'm super impressed by everybody staying on every single block. As there's some of you guys that like Jasmine, Dawn, like some of you guys here have been like Camilla's. They're all weekend. Man, that was impressive. Super impressive. So, and it means a lot. And we hope you were entertained. So.
Yeah, it was an entertaining weekend, and Artemis says, thank you for providing the platform for all this amazing talent. We're honored to provide the platform. We do appreciate you guys, being on here and helping support the filmmakers and, watching their films and sharing our love and your love for them. It's cool. Christopher says, that they lost their lead down there in the tunnels. Did you watch the short? I did watch it. I wasn't aware that it was a documentary, so now I'm even more creeped out by it. But yeah, I'm curious about where you guys went down there, and if you brought protection, because it's terrifying. Angles. Okay, yeah, Camilla, you had said, where was that comment? You had said the tunnels had some amazing light and ankles, and I wasn't going to argue with that because I think it did have some nice ankles in that film, but it also had nice angles. Because you do excellent work at directing ankles and angles. So
somebody just asked, where are we at? We are in Las Vegas. Devonna Carter.
Yep.
We are located in Las Vegas here.
Las Vegas, Nevada.
So before I forget, because I'm going to forget, I forgot a little bit ago. If you were here for the fest and you wanted a Sin City Horror Fest t-shirt, go to our Teespring page. They can find that where, Mike?
We have a link in the top of the chat right there. There's also a link in the description of the videos. I'll take you right there. There's 3 different designs, and then we have some Kings of Horror merch in there too. And we will be doing some more designs for the Kings of Horror merch. We want to we've had some questions about different looks and different things for the t-shirts, and we need to get on top of that. So I think we'll have some cool stuff in there in the next couple of weeks. Chris said they did some scouting. Yeah, it was pretty good. Film industry will never die when we have indie new talent. That's right, Susie. It won't, and that is the coolest thing about the horror film audience and genre is that the independent talent is so championed and so supported. It's amazing, and that comes from you guys for promoting that and supporting it. Really cool.
Yeah, I'm curious on how some of these other fests are going right now. Other virtual film festivals are doing. Hearing a lot of different ways. They're kind of so.
Well, and I think there's a lot of ways that you can do virtual film festival this year, and I feel like a lot of things that we looked into before we settled in to do here on Kings of Horror, which was what we always wanted to do. But there was, I feel like there's really cool stuff happening out there. I feel like sometimes it gets a little too complicated and a little hard to keep up with. With what we did, it wasn't that complicated, but it was just a ton of content over a short period of time. And as Justin was saying, some of you guys were absolute warriors. I don't know how you kept up and hung in there all weekend, but that was fun to see.
So Devon said, what virtual film fests? Well, if you weren't here this weekend with us at Kings of Horror, we did Sin City Horror Fest, and that's kind of what everyone's talking about. That's film festival here in Las Vegas that was hosted on our channel, so which we're all a part of. So yes, and other people are doing film festivals through different websites, different platforms, you know. So it's kind of all over the place right now. So it's the kind of best way to experience films.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things that are going virtual right now, which is pretty cool. I've seen in different groups and stuff like that, they're doing, you know, like some of the cons are virtual, some of the, you know, you go to the conventions, you get to meet celebrities, get autographs and pictures taken, and they've transformed that a little bit too. I've seen some things where, you know, they have live kind of recordings or even a recording of like celebrities autographing merchandise and different things and sending it out. You know, it's a weird year and we have to kind of, you know, adjust. And I think overall people have adjusted really well, and there's been some really cool stuff that's come out of it. So I'm excited to see, you know, how that changes and how things, you know, the whole, just everything, once the world settles back in and we're all good to go, I think a lot of this stuff will stick around.
No, I totally agree. I think the integration of the whole online entertainment with the, you know, quote unquote normal world will be very normal, will be very integrated. So no, I totally agree on that. Mike, you know, one thing I wanted to do before I forgot was you had some cool stuff that we were messing around with earlier where I was going to have you show the audience that was just kind of cool.
What was that?
You got your little Star Wars...
my little Star Wars film prints?
Yeah. Show the audience... So me and Mike were talking about doing a little thing where we kind of show some fun stuff that we have or we bought or stuff that's out there that you guys can buy or just in general. And Mike has these super cool... I won't ruin it for you. What do you got?
Yeah, don't ruin my surprise. This is not horror related, but it is nerd related, and that falls into my category very, very strongly. Before we get started on this, Dawn, thank you so much for ordering the sweatshirt and the mug. If you're I think you're in the film group. If you're in the film group, I'd love to see that you guys that get the merch and stuff take some selfies and share some pictures of you guys with the merch or in the merch. We'd love to see that. So yeah, I found this, which you definitely cannot see probably because I'm behind it.
It's pretty good.
But these were some old. I found them on like Facebook group, and it goes with the collection of everything else I have. And these are some old original prints from the original Star Wars Empire Strikes Back film.
Yeah, I think they're work prints. So they're not theatrical prints, but I'm pretty sure they are work prints.
Yeah.
And you know, work prints a lot of times includes the heads and tails of film of the slate and everything like that, and that's Star Wars Empire Strikes Back. So freaking cool. I came over here and he showed me these one day, and I was like, man, that's amazing. And you know, those are, you can get a theatrical 35mm print with the optical audio track on it. That's a lot more common to find, but he showed me these cool work prints he has, and I was like blown away. So we wanted to share that with you. You know, that
I'll share some better pictures in the Kings of Horror film group, even though it's not horror. And Sean says, if the prints from the new Star Wars, then yes, it is horror. I just read that. Star Wars. I actually didn't hate the new Star Wars like a lot of people. Well, I don't want to get into it too much, but I wasn't a fan of The Last Jedi. But, you know, I'm pretty forgiving when it comes to Star Wars, just the same way as I am with horror. Is like I just love it all. It's just kind of fun to watch. Chris said that those even survived is crazy, and it is really crazy, and it's a lot of fun. The guy that I got them from said that his uncle was like an editor on the film, and that their tales or whatever like that, and some of them had like, you know, the guy holding the slate, and just background scenes and stuff. So I think that they were that, which is really cool. I do want to show one other thing I have that I just remember to have sitting right here. And this goes back to Chris, our friend over there. But this is from when I made my first film that was on Kings of Horror.
Give it a little tilt so you get the...
Tell me when it looks.
There you go.
Can you see that? That was a copy of my first DVD that I ever had made. Not that I've had that many DVDs made.
Get a little closer to camera. There you go.
Is that good? Look good?
Yeah.
And then that is the prosthetic that was put on my face in my death scene. So spoiler alert for those of you that haven't seen it. But yeah, it's kind of a cool thing. And I actually had it hanging up over there, and I was moving it around, but I just forgot I had it sitting here. So I figured I would brag a little bit and show that to you guys. Chris, do you remember that? You remember that? You were there. Yeah, it was a big wound, and the makeup artist Steve Siegelbaum was the guy that did it, and he did great work on the film. We have to put. I'm gonna get Monster Among Men back up on the Kings of Horror channel. I was just doing a little kind of cleanup edit on it, and I think one day, I don't know if you guys would like this or if it'd bore us to death, but I always wanted to do a director's commentary for it, or even a cast commentary. So Chris, if you're around, hop on with us. But yeah, it'd be fun to kind of just watch the film together and go over like our experiences of what we went through. And doing a first film was the first movie that I ever made. I wasn't probably ready for that, but it was an incredible experience, a lot of fun. I had a lot of passionate, amazing people like Chris working with me and helping us out.
How big was your crew, you said?
Our crew was probably less than 15, and there was like 8 actors involved. But everyone did double duty. Chris did about quadruple duty. Tony will be back up very, very soon. And so you the Beast. I was not the Beast. I did make the Beast costume, which, funny enough, a little background on that. It was I don't know if I'm ruining the movie completely, but it's like it was a Chewbacca costume I had bought, and I altered it to make it into a Bigfoot costume. And it actually looked good on camera. I was really excited with how it turned out. Chris actually plays the creature in the movie. Now that I just remembered that. So that was a lot of fun. But yes, I did die in the movie, and I died pretty early. So this is Dawn, my cats. To love me even when I have more. That's a great thing about pets. They don't care about our breath. They still love us anyway. My baby's that way. Not that he's my pet, but he comes up and gets right in my face with his little baby morning breath, and he doesn't mind mine.
Yeah, I mind my dog's breath sometimes after they eat breakfast. Every once in a while, but I love them. I love my pups.
Yes. And Sean Bailey says, "Long live Peter Mayhew." 100% love Peter Mayhew. I got to see him in person at a convention here in Las Vegas a few years back before he passed, and he's an awesome guy, man. I actually got to see Stan Lee at that same convention and meet him. Brought my nephew. It was a lot of fun.
Tony said, "LOL, Mike Lanzini presents Beast Spoiler Fest 2020."
I know, I probably got ahead of myself, but it had been seen by the majority of the audience. I feel like our distributor really took the film and put everything that I tried to keep hidden into the trailer, and then made people hate the movie even more. But it's a lot of fun. It was their first film. So, how long to make a Beast from pre to post? Devonna asked. It took us. Funny, I actually worked on that script for a very long time, and then my friend Darren that does the film festival, me and him went back over it, rewrote it. I would say from the time we started pre-production to post was probably about 1.5 years, but I had been working on that script for probably a couple of years. So now another thing, Justin, how did you find Kings of Horror?
Man, I found Kings of Horror by. My dad calls me one day and says, "Hey, your movie's on a website, on a YouTube channel." And I looked on the website, it's Kings of Horror. My film, Ominous, was released in 2009, I believe. No. 2011 was out on DVD. And Kings of Horror put it up, and it had tons of views. We submitted my film to a bunch of film festivals, and unfortunately we didn't get in. But when I saw it on Kings of Horror, it had gotten, at the time it was like 500,000 views, and I said, this has to be fake. Like, this is not real. There's 500,000 people aren't watching my movie right now, and then not at one time, but through over time. So I honestly thought it was just kind of a fake deal. But then after talking with somebody, and then actually confirming it when I met Mike, I was like, is this a real deal? Like, is it, these people really watching? He's like, yeah. It's like, so Kings of Horror, my movie found the perfect audience in you guys. So I'm sure maybe I don't think it's on the channel right now, but
we got to work and get it back up there.
Yeah, it's so I was, and I'm pretty proud of that. So I think pretty proud that at least it lives somewhere. And I think as a filmmaker, it's not. I mean, cheesy to say, but it's not necessarily about the money right now. Even then, it was just like it's just about getting it shown and getting it watched. So yeah, if you did watch it, it was my first feature released in 2011. Ominous.
Yeah.
Not the 2000. Sci-Fi released their own movie called Ominous in 2015. Not it. 2009, Las Vegas.
Yeah, and that's a fun film too. It's cool. It's cool to kind of watch people's first films and see what we accomplished, we're able to accomplish. Realistically, not knowing nothing, and you knew a lot more than me because you were straight out of film school. I just liked movies.
Midnight Paranormal said, "I hate that movie, Ominous." Well, I appreciate the honesty because I love it.
Yeah, but maybe he meant he hated the sci-fi version of Ominous.
Oh yeah, because then great movie.
But also maybe he just.
We'll see. You know what? I appreciate honesty either way. Like, and the first, I'm a pretty. I found out the word bollocks. What the word bollocks meant when someone. I got tagged on a Twitter post. This was years ago. I got tagged on a Twitter post. Someone tagged me and they said my movie got renamed to The Innocent in Europe, in the UK, and so it's called The Innocent there. And someone tagged me and they said, Justin Berganzoni, The Innocent is the biggest load of bollocks I've ever seen. I literally had to look it up. I didn't know what bollocks meant. I was clueless.
Devonna Carter asked, have you guys ever felt really stressed out while filmmaking? And if so, when? Yes.
Have I not been stressed out? That's the question.
I don't know if I've ever not felt stressed out while I'm filmmaking. And me and Justin were just talking about this, I think last week. It's like, every time we've done something, I've done something, I try to over-prepare, get ready, do everything to get, like when we're on set, getting ready to shoot, this time, everything is in order. And it's like, you get there, set up everything, and turn the camera on, and I don't know, somehow I lose all of the work that I've done before, and you're just in survival mode for the, duration of the shoot. Like, I always feel underprepared, no matter how prepared I am, and very stressed out. But it's also...
I'll just clear up. Midnight Paranormal said, I have that movie. I'm a little bit dyslexic, so... Thank you so much. Sorry,
But if you hated it, we would still love you.
If you hated it, I still love you. Like, you watched it, you got it, like... Thank you. No, I appreciate it. But go ahead, though, Mike. You're finishing saying about, like, kind of creating and...
Yeah, but it's an incredible amount of stress that you, like... you're like, I'm not going to survive this 10 days, 12 days, 2 days, whatever we're shooting. But it's also like this rush of just adrenaline of just like, it's so much fun working with these people, creative people, watching actors act, watching, the camera, DPs do their thing. Justin's an excellent all around. He can do everything, but he was the sound guy on my last short film that we did. Which was part. He's like,
I forgot.
Oh, was it?
was that really?
That was 5 Golden Rings. Yeah, it's a short film that we're hoping to get together very soon.
That was filmed in a toy store.
Yep, it's filmed in a toy store, and a bit of like odd trivia behind that is the toy store was owned at the time by.
We love you too, Valerie. Thank you so much.
Yes, we do. But the toy store was owned by Bill, the owner of the Days of the Dead Con here in Las Vegas. He since sold it to Nightmare Toys, who's another great company. I
still got to make it over there to Nightmare Toys.
Yeah, it's awesome. I've made it over there. No, I didn't. I went to Big Bang. I still have to get to Nightmare Toys. So we'll go one day.
Definitely.
Maybe we'll go live when we go there.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, it would be fun. I do have a short film on the channel right now, and that is... No, we didn't work on that one together. But that one is Best Christmas Ever, and that has Drew Marvick in it, who is one of our partners in the Sin City Horror Fest. And so if you guys get a chance, look that one up and take a look.
Yeah, no, just to kind of piggyback off what you're saying with the... kind of moving on with on set, is he's right. When you're making a movie, especially at an independent level, you're doing a lot more things than just one sole job, And the goal is to be able to just do a direction, be a director or a cameraman or an audio guy. But a lot of times, audio guys, I'm setting up lights and helping, doing the other things. And if you're directing, you're doing a ton of things. You're doing producing. You're working with the actors, and it's like you can do all the preparation beforehand, and then you like the morning of, your mind just kind of just goes, super blank. I've had it happen to me all the time. But the key to independent filmmaking, the number one thing, is friends. Having good friends, and the guys like have your back. And I've had a pleasure with having good people around me to make films. Even if it's just like when you're first starting out, it's just me and my brother were just making stuff. So it's just one person, two people, three people. But
I think that is the key is surrounding yourself. Because in the beginning, most of us aren't ever going to be fortunate to have big budgets where we can really pay people to do stuff. Chris has worked with me for free many times. I owe him a true debt. Hopefully one day I can repay it. But yeah, getting people that are just passionate about it and enjoy doing it, and doing it because they love it, and not doing it because they think they're going to be a movie star or you're going to make millions of dollars. When it comes to independent film, you just do it because you love it, and hopefully it turns into something that other people enjoy too. So yeah, it's really cool. We have Antonio watching all the way from Malaysia, 6:43 a.m. Thank you for tuning in from Malaysia, Antonio.
You got that coffee going on right now? As at 6:43, I'm definitely drinking some coffee. That's for sure. Heck, at 6:43 p.m., I'm drinking some coffee.
I'm drinking coffee all day. Jasmine says, surrounding yourself with positive people, that's important. It is the most important thing in life. And filmmaking obviously follows suit, but you're right. Negative people don't help anything. So, positive people make the world go round.
Too, and that's what, speaking of positivity, and I'm going to praise you guys again. That was the cool thing this weekend was for Sin City Horror Fest, the chat. You guys were so positive, and that means the world. I mean, again, these filmmakers get criticism all the time, and so I think a lot of them are used to it, but having that genuine positivity as you're watching the film, man, that's pretty cool. And we had a lot of feedback from filmmakers already reach out to us, and really kind of said thank you for everything, and said they love the chat. So we've had the actress for Marlena reach out on Facebook. So
the actor from the Christmas one. My brain is a little bit fried still from the weekend, but the gentleman that won Best Actor.
The Nights Before Christmas.
Yeah, Nights Before Christmas. Simon Phillips. And Chris says he's doing my first feature soon. I'm calling it in. Chris, I'm excited to hear that, man. I'm really excited to hear that you're finally doing your first feature, and I'm here for you. So you tell me what you need, and I will help. I definitely would be happy to return the love and the favor that you've done for me. So let me know.
So, what do we got going on this week? As far as this Halloween's on Saturday.
Halloween. Chris, I don't know if you're in our Kings of Horror film group, but if you're not, you should join it. And kind of to go back over and just one more time reiterate what the purpose of the Kings of Horror film group is I really want to extend an invite to obviously all of you guys, and then also filmmakers, and we're hoping that it just kind of grows into a thing where we just have fun conversations, fun positive conversations about why we love horror. And a fun way for creators to connect with fans, and for us to just meet each other and be able to support each other's projects and again talk about what we love. So on there right now though is the Kings of Horror costume party. It's just not a contest; it's just a party. So since Halloween's a little weird this year, this whole world's a little weird this year, let's get dressed up in some Halloween costumes, take some pictures, drop them in there, and we will do we'll just do a random giveaway and give away 5 t-shirts, and maybe do a little special Halloween t-shirt that maybe you can only win and you can't buy. That'd be kind of fun.
Halloween 2020 shirt.
Yeah.
Some people are saying Ominous is on YouTube. Thank you for looking, and I think it is. I just don't think it's on our channel.
Your movie's on YouTube, but not on Kings of Horror?
I think so. We'll see. We'll
Justin
look into that.
Just got fired. We gotta get Ominous back on the channel, and I look forward to putting my film back on the channel and getting your guys' feedback. It's my first movie. and I see a lot of flaws in it, but I have a lot of great memories from it, and I'm proud of the fact that we were able to put it together and do it, and it was fun. So I think we will do a live director's commentary on it once I get it back up, and cast commentary, and you guys can, chime in and tell us what you think. Yeah, Chris. Yeah, we understand that. Social media can be a bit of a nightmare, but
yep.
I just try to scroll past negative and stay with positive, and that's the way to do that. What was the reaction of others when you told them you were going to make a movie? Nirvana, that's funny actually. Once I kind of had everything ready to go, and the script was ready, we were starting to do pre-production, pulling together a little money. We didn't have much of a budget for it. I mean. But I would go out and start talking. It's funny is you run into a lot of people that tell you why you can't do things, and that was not what I expected the reaction to be from a lot of people, and it comes from people that you're close with and you love and you kind of like. But it's just I think people are so afraid of failing that they never try, and that was me and a good friend of mine, Sean, who's the DP and also a producer on the film. We kind of addressed that early on, and was just like we're not going to let any of that negativity creep in. And we're just going to do it. They'll tell you, everyone will tell you why it's a bad idea and why you shouldn't do it. But I'm a firm believer in why you should do things and finding a right way to do things.
It would be really cool, guys, for some of you guys, for you regulars out there who haven't made a movie. I always tell people that you can make a movie on your cell phone. And to a lot of my friends who are in the industry, turn their nose up a little bit. But there's a lot that embrace it too. But I think making movies on your cell phone, shooting, creating stories, short stories that you could shoot. I have a little lens case for my phone that you could buy these little lenses for. Shopmoment.com is the website, and you can get a case for it. You can screw on the lenses, and but no, I mean, just if you haven't made a movie, do it. If you as much as you guys love watching them, make something on your phone. I mean, that would be kind of cool to do a little Kings of Horror fan film fest.
Yeah,
maybe.
It would.
Maybe we'll do something like that down there.
Yeah,
we're promising lots today.
Yeah. Hopefully, you guys remember any of the promises we've made today, and hold us to them. No, we definitely want to fulfill anything that we say we're going to do. Tony Strauss says, just want to give a shout out to the edgelord that gave this video a thumbs down. There's always somebody that's got I've come to appreciate it. To go back to making films. I remember when we made Monster Among Men, and I was editing it, and it's the editing process is long, and sometimes you just want to crawl in a hole because all the things have to come together for the film to look like a film. And someone had told me, they're like, yeah, a friend of mine made a movie too, but he said he went online and read some of the comments about it. And it was devastating. And at that point, I had never really paid much attention to any of that. And I remember jumping on there and looking at this friend's film, a friend of a friend's film, and reading some of these comments, and they were just so mean. It's not like, hey, this movie's no good. It was like, I hate the people that made this movie. They should all die. Gave me a lot of anxiety for a moment, but it ended up being a fun thing. And I think that we'll do that in the future too. We're going to do a thing where we kind of read some of the meanest comments people have left on our films and just laugh at them.
Yeah, for sure. I love reading the. I don't necessarily do it just to get a kick, but it's fun to see the people's bad reviews on it. It's it's better to read the good reviews, but it is fun to read the bad reviews.
Yeah.
Chris Stiles says, "Don't tell it to Steven Soderbergh," and Steven Soderbergh's a true filmmaker. He'll make a film any which way. And so that's true. Steven Soderbergh's a big shot 2 movies, I think, on an iPhone now. So I think it's that's what when I first entered film school, and Tony Strauss is actually a UNLV alumni. He said he was actually the first UNLV film grad. Was Tony Strauss in the 90s. I'm aging a little bit, Tony, but he was telling me this weekend, when he was going to film school, there wasn't one digital camera they had at the school, so everything was film. Film was a lot more expensive. And the transition, I came into film school in the early 2000s, and we had certain projects on film, on 16 millimeter at school, but we had video cameras, digital cameras. So that was it was easier for us to make a film, and it's even more easy to make a film nowadays, even just on your phone. You got a good story, you got a good script, you know, work within your means, and I think that's kind of what it's all about. So yeah, no, Steven Soderbergh is a huge inspiration of mine. Robert Rodriguez, we were talking about Rodriguez as far as being an inspirational filmmaker.
Yeah, 100%.
Speaking of Robert Rodriguez, we had Patricia Vaughn, his sister, had a film in Sin City Horror Fest this weekend.
Yeah, very cool. And I think even Tony, you can confirm this, but I think even like I think he has 2 sisters or maybe more, but I think that his other sister was an actress in that film too, which was really cool. Devonna Carter says, "I can if I wanted to." You can make a film if you should make a film if you want to. Absolutely, even if you want to try it once and just go like just because it's out of curiosity, you might find out it's something that you love to do. And with the way things are, like Justin was saying today, everyone kind of has access to the ability to do it, and it's a fun thing to do.
Chris, I didn't know Chris, you went to UNLV? I went to UNLV.
Yeah, he went to school out here. I don't know how.
What year did you graduate, Chris? But yeah, so Tony said he wasn't the first film student, the first person to graduate with a BFA in film. So correction.
For the confirmation. And Robert Rodriguez has 14 siblings, so it's very likely that he could have even had more people in that short film that he was related to. That's awesome. I have 3 siblings, and I love that. One sister producing partner. Interesting. Devonna says, "How do I get other people interested in my film?" Passion, I think. Like when you show somebody your passion and what and hard work, and that you're willing to really do the work, people seem to kind of hop on board in that. Because there unfortunately are a lot of people that say they want to do things, but won't do the work to do the things. And what I've noticed with people that I admire and have worked with and like to work with is that when you see somebody who really does love what they do and puts the time and effort into it and works hard, I feel like people just gravitate to that, and it's the best way to just get people interested.
Yeah, and if that's what you're asking as far as getting people interested to work on it, I agree. I think the passion and having a vision and having the follow through. And I think that's kind of the key elements, getting people interested, being the salesman. You don't have to be the overt salesman, but telling people why you want to make it, and then you can kind of, your passion alone will feed everyone else's. And if you're asking about how to get it interested after you made it, submit to film festivals and show it around to friends and reach out to these people who are in the chat, and so.
Dawn says she's a writer, but not of horror. What do you write, Don? That's awesome. And Chris says he graduated in 2014, but from CSN. I do remember that you were just starting at UNLV. Now that you say that, and it was awesome to have you on board of that project. It was a lot of fun. We need to do another one. So when is your feature going to get started, Chris? Hopefully soon. Well, hopefully as soon as it can be.
Someone asked, how are we doing in the, where was it at? Some about a pandemic question there. I think it was, how are we dealing with the, how are you guys handling things during this pandemic? I would say as best we can. We're trying, just like everybody else. Yep. Not perfect, but we're trying. And, trying to stay safe. And as best we can.
And the key to that is just focus on the positivity and move past the negativity. There's always going to be negativity. Right now there's a lot of negativity. Unfortunately, it's kind of sad, but there's a lot of good stuff going on. Dawn says she writes romantic erotica. Very interesting,
nice.
Dawn. You'll have to share a link with us somewhere so we can take a look at the stuff you've done. You don't want any movies made from your stories. Okay. How do you speed up the script writing process? Writing the script is so boring, right? I love writing, but yes, there is a way to speed up. I found a way for myself, and I think that when it comes to screenwriting, I think a lot of people have a lot of different ways of doing it. I don't know if
there's like no one answer. I also think if you want to speed it up, know your story. Know your story. Say it on a tape player. Say it, on a little recorder. and know the story first, and that'll help you speed up the creativity of the actual plot and characters and all that stuff. As far as sitting down and doing the writing, I think you should kind of know where you're going before you write. Just
overall, I agree with that. And again, not to say that the way I do it is the right way to do it, because again, I know people do it differently that write better than I do. But for me, I like to kind of let it live in my head for a little while to try to understand where I want to go with it, what I like about it. And then what I've kind of settled on that's really worked well for me is I write just a very detailed, kind of all over the place outline that might be 10 to 12 pages of just understanding the acts and writing it out in order of how it works. If there's a scene I just can see in my head that I know for sure that's what I want it to be, I'll go a little bit even deep into some stuff like that. But once I've done that, then I kind of clean it up, and then the writing process goes really fast for me because it's like I have this really solid foundation, this like skeleton of what my film is going to be or my story is going to be, and I just put that up there and I start writing. And one other little trick I learned that is not that it's pretty obvious, I guess, but was like not just to write. When I would get into a writing session, I would just write. I wouldn't go back and try and reread everything that I wrote, and because then you could just get you don't get past a page, because you can just keep reading it over and over and all that stuff. She said the formatting is boring, all the indents, cap. Yeah, if you use one of the programs, it's pretty easy, and it's worth. There's some free writing programs out there. I have only used Final Draft and Adobe Story, but
yeah, one of the ones I use, Highland, I believe, and I think Highland is I have to double check there. We'll get you some free screenwriting programs. I think Highland, if you look it up, there's a podcast called Script Notes, and that is with John August and Craig Mazin. Craig Mazin wrote Chernobyl, and John August wrote the movie Big Fish and some other films. What his first film was. But those guys have a screenwriting podcast that I listen to all the time, and John August helped develop a screenwriting program that has a free version that's watermarked, I believe, for if you export the file out of there, but it also has a paid version. But I'm looking at that, and that's actually, that program is pretty intuitive. It's type, enter, and tab. Type, enter, and tab, and then you can, if you have your caps on, does a character format. That's the one of the ones I like recently, because I like to try to I'm not a big writer. I don't write a ton, but when I do sit and write, and I do want it to be kind of seamless.
Yeah.
Jasmine asked a very good question here.
Yes.
We talking about this a lot. And this not necessarily about screenwriting, but I've always wanted to know an answer about something. What's the difference between horror movies, thriller movies, slasher movies? Sorry, I was asking because I watch horror, so I wanted to know. Well, I'm going to tell you this. I think the difference between all three of those is just the branding, just the wording. And, for example, like this weekend with Sin City, our films, the variety of films was like this.
Right.
Anything that kind of, for me personally, what's a horror film is that anything that kind of deals with the dark side of life or dark issue. I think dark dramas can be horror movies, can play at a horror film fest. It doesn't have to be, there's pop horror, there's, the monster film, there's Michael Myers, Freddy, but then there's the horror films that are like the movie Seven. We talk about this a lot, and how Seven wasn't even allowed to be called a horror movie. The Sixth Sense, that has paranormal, but it wasn't allowed to be called a horror movie.
Right.
At the time, and that was for the studio branding. But yeah, Jasmine, I think anything that kind of deals with the dark side, a dark issue, that's kind of my deal.
Well, and the one thing I would say is I agree with you 100%, except for one thing, is that the end of that question is, what's the difference between horror movies and thriller movies? I think that's the correct answer there. Slasher movies, though, I don't think fall in the same umbrella.
For sure.
Slasher movies are just... that's a killer going around, but it can get a little vague too. I think it can get a little, obviously Jason's a slasher, Michael Myers, Freddy, just any kind of a killer like that. But I think that the lines get blurred sometimes with that too.
I feel like Tony might chime in on that question too.
Tony probably could definitely chime in on that question. Yeah, Chris. Now we're talking film. Yeah, exactly. We weren't sure where this was going to go. We just wanted to kind of hop on and chat with you guys and see how long it would take for us to run all of you off and get bored of us just rambling, but we have a good chunk of you hanging out with us, and we appreciate that. But I agree with what you said, Justin. Like it is a funny thing. Like the more we were talking to David Fincher yesterday, and I just kind of had
talking about him. What you said? We're talking with him.
No, we're talking about David.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
I haven't got a chance to talk to him. I wish I did. But we were talking about David Fincher the other day, and I kind of had this realization. I was like, he's a horror film director. Like,
definitely.
He's a horror film. Seven is a terrifying film. It is a horror film, but it's definitely, probably if you looked it up on IMDb, it says thriller or suspense or something.
Yeah, and I think my favorite Fincher film, one of my favorite movies is movie Zodiac. It wouldn't be the first film I call a horror film, but I think by rights, I mean, we could if Fincher had submitted, and he wasn't David Fincher, but he submitted Zodiac to our film fest, I would say it's for sure. Yeah. I mean, we've had films like that at our film fest that kind of ride that whole line.
And Tony says slasher is a subgenre of horror. It is, yes. I don't know, Tony, would you consider thrillers a subgenre of horror? I would imagine. If you look up and Google like subgenres of horror, you can find lists that have just about everything. So that's it's pretty crazy. And thank you, Don. Thank you very much. We love you guys. The line between horror and thriller is nebulous and ever debated. That's really no final answer. That is 100% true.
So would you guys like to see? We need to get Tony on again. I really want to chat with Tony and talk with you, Tony. Tony always helps out every year at the Film Fest, and I never get a chance to talk to him. But I think this would be a great format to have him on.
Yeah.
And Tony can talk to the audience members, you moviegoers who aren't into the filmmaking process but want to find more about it. Same thing with filmmakers. Tony has a very good insight on a lot of films that I don't even know about or never even heard of.
Yeah. And it looks like Sean Bailey says he never saw it. Sean, I think you're saying you never saw Seven. And if you are saying you never saw Seven...
Seven or Zodiac?
I don't know. Either one, you definitely have some homework. I could let you slide a little on Zodiac, even though I love Zodiac very much. But you better go see Seven. If you haven't seen Seven, it's a horror film. Go into it knowing that, and it's fantastic. And then, yes, that is your homework for today. Yep. He says, nope, never saw Seven. Yep. Definitely homework for you now, Sean. You have to go see Seven.
One of the things I wanted to, before I forget, I'm going to do this. I'm not going to do this today, but I want to tease it today. I bought this. One of my film professors in film school was the director David Schmoller. David directed Puppet Master and Tourist Trap, Crawl Space, The Seduction. And I bought this Tourist Trap VHS collection thing. Has the Blu-ray, the uncut version. We'll talk about that, and this action figure here.
Yeah.
So I might do an unboxing, but maybe we'll do it later this week or next week. I just want to tease it now. And the whole edits thing on that. I have my editor friend and professor and mentor in film school, Jason Nemison. He gave me the whole rundown of kind of what was the difference between all those cuts, and it's pretty interesting. So I'll open up the Tourist Trap deal, and that was David Schmoller's first feature film.
Yeah.
So
and a very cool film. Seven has the best second unit brawl. Yes, for sure. Professor Schmoller. You know, Professor. Yeah, actually, Chris was the one that invited me to the screening of Little Monsters. And I went with him to go see that.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Chris, I wonder if I met Chris before.
You've probably met Chris before.
And I apologize sincerely, Chris, if I have met you. Do apologize.
Justin, you're such a teaser. He is a teaser. I know he shows this cool thing, and he's like, I'm not going to open it now, but it gives us a reason to make you guys come back.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna wait because I gotta we're making a thing,
Yeah, you gotta give it its due. All right, well, we're 64 minutes in, I think.
Yeah, I think we'll clock out here. So again, we're gonna put this up here. Let's see.
Yep. Tonight on Terror Tuesdays. So yeah, this will be what time? 6 p.m. Pacific, right? Yep, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Be My Cat, a film for Anne, will be on Terror Tuesdays. The filmmaker will be there. Like I said, it's kind of like if Borat was a horror movie. That was how I like when I saw it, but a whole different thing, and really, really, really cool film. The director is incredible in it. It's kind of hard to believe it's not real.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one.
Yes, Sean, you should go stand in the corner. You know, funny enough, I'm going to expose Justin just a little bit here, Sean, just to make you feel a little bit better. Me and Justin kind of have a ongoing joke of like, when I'm like, oh, this movie's really good. You have definitely not seen that. Justin has seen a lot of really great films, but he has missed some classics too. So
Blair Witch? I've seen Blair Witch.
No, I'm just talking about overall classic films, like because Sean hadn't seen Seven, and we were kind of all shaming him for that.
Oh yeah, Sean, I'm in your camp with a lot of movies, man, and it just happened to be that way. Whatever. I saw movies that no one else watched, and didn't see. Yeah, there's a lot of films that I'm even afraid to say that I haven't watched. Yeah. So I feel you, buddy. And Chris said we did meet at the Schmuller's retirement party.
There you go. Yeah.
Man, I feel bad.
I bet if you saw him in person, you'd recognize him. Dawn says she didn't like Blair Witch. Sorry, that's okay, man. Like I think that's. I don't know. And that's the cool thing about the group and everything. It's like it's cool to say that we don't all have to love the same thing. And Blair Witch is the type of movie I think that you either love it or you don't, and that's okay. One of my favorite films is The Greasy Strangler, and I think that if you know that movie, you either love it or you think I'm sick for loving it. So, like, it's cool. That's what is cool about the horror genre. Is there's so much that we, there's so much, and we all kind of like our own thing. Someone earlier had said that Insidious is one of their favorite films. That's another really cool film. I like the first one a lot. Some of the second or third one, I can't remember. I didn't love it too much, but
Sid's mom, Happy Horrorween.
Happy Horrorween.
I like those bats.
I do like those bats and the hearts. Your emoji game is on point, Sid.
Yep. I'm all about the emojis.
All right. Well, I think that's.
As much as I would love to hang out with you guys.
Yeah, I can hang with you guys all week, but we will do it again.
Yeah. So, again, Terror Tuesdays tonight, 6 p.m. I know all you guys are probably going to be there. We'll try to pop on live again this week for a Halloween deal, maybe Friday or Saturday. Yep. Depending on the day, we'll see what's up. But we'll see you guys again this week. We want to try to interact with you guys more and do more things like this and talk horror, anything related, whether they're toys, comics, movies, but we know. So let us know what you guys want to see too,
Yeah, and thank you guys for being so interactive in the chat. The Human Centipede is a great movie. It is also another one that it's like, I think you either like it or you just can't take it because it's just too wild. But I love that film. I'm like blown away that movie. I'm blown away at the quality of that movie for such a weird movie. It's really cool. You've seen Human Centipede, Justin?
I've never seen it.
I was just me. Yes, happy early Halloween to everyone, and thank you guys all for hanging out with us for 68 minutes. We probably droned on a little too long, but it was fun chatting with you guys, and thanks for being interactive and asking questions and stuff.
Yeah, and if you guys want to still kind of continue the conversation or whatever, join the film club,
yep.
Kings of Horror Film Club on Facebook, and then
right there again.
So cool,
and we'll see you guys next time.
I want to finish off with the little Be My Cat still here, and we'll see you guys later.
Yeah, and hello, Nightmare Files.